winter solstice 1270. Midinvern, the night of magic. Letho wasn't lying, the hunt had stopped. At the Hanged Man's Tree, the spectral riders selected from among those they had taken. Yennefer was among them. A wraith cannot be killed, only driven away. Every witcher knows that. Yet the riders fell beneath the blows of our witcher's blades. Crimson blood flowed from under their dead men's armor. We could not kill them all. They were simply too many. A stalemate. He was different from all other elves. There was no shame in his gaze. He had never suffered persecution. He had endured no massacres. Humans had not taken his land. This elf was not of this world. He was an invader. We struck a deal. My soul for that of Yennefer. He agreed without hesitation.
Back with me, friend. Got the feeling you left for a minute.
Memories. I remember the Hanged Man's Tree and the Wild Hunt. I remember the exchange. Me for Yennefer.
So, cards out on the table. Unless you chase me all that way just to kill me.
Yeah, he did kill some kings, but for a reason of his own. I honestly don't feel like fighting him, and he did kind of protect Triss, and it sounds like he protected Yennefer as well.
I chased you for lots of reasons. You owe me some explanations to start with.
Let's say I do.
Where to start? Exposition. Start with Yen.
Tell me about Yennefer. What happened after I departed?
She was feverish for several days. Delirious. In agony. We thought that was it. She was on her way out. Somehow she recovered. But even then she was disoriented. Amnesia like you.
What then?
Well, the woman turned out to be quite a character. Throwing temper tantrums. Trying to seduce orcs. Trying to drive a wedge between us. After you so nobly sacrificed yourself, we thought it'd be dumb just to leave her somewhere. She wouldn't have survived more than a month. The whims and vigor of a duchess, but she was just a sorceress with no memory. We were in the heart of the Empire. And as I'm sure you know, Geralt, in Nilfgaard, mages who behave like that either drop their bad habits quickly, or are drawn and quartered by horses in the middle of Victory Square.
So I heard.
So we set out, wandered through the provinces. Everywhere we went, she got in trouble and we pulled her out. And then one day they captured us. The Imperial Secret Police. Me, Ox, Serret, and Yennefer.
Imperial Secret Police?
Mm-hmm. We were separated, and they questioned us. Long and thoroughly, but it was uneventful. No violence. That's how I met Vatia de Rideau. And a couple of weeks later, the Emperor himself. Me. A simple witcher.
What happened to Yennefer?
I don't know. Never saw her again. The Emperor offered me a mission in the Northern Kingdoms. As for Yennefer, I had the feeling she was somehow important to Emir. As I see it, they learned of the Lodge from her. Those Imperial spooks have their ways. All I heard is that Vatir had his men watch Yennefer closely throughout the time she was at the palace. Then we went off to slay the kings of the north. That's where my knowledge ends.
So she's in the Empire?
She was when I left.
Riders of the
How
Hunt.
did you know where we'd find the Wild Hunt?
Every witcher who wears the viper around his neck knows the place. We had so many books and scrolls about the hunt that I used to think our school was founded for the very purpose of solving the riddle of the spectral riders.
know who they are? You know the true identities of the riders?
From what I understand, they're some damn elven race. But they turned out to be a big ruse. The legendary omen of war proved to be a fairground attraction.
No Market Square mage could possibly conjure up a cavalcade of wraiths speeding across the sky. Then there's the amnesia. No, there's something more, I assure you.
Go ahead, enlighten me. I can tell you want to.
There are a lot of legends and myths about it, but the Wild Hunt is a fact. I've fought and killed many of its wraiths. They were spectral emanations, the avatars of real riders. The riders we ran into by the Hanged Man's Tree.
Are you telling me you were carried off by elves? Real material sons of bitches like the ordinary kind we deal with in this world?
They may be ordinary in their world, but they're strangers in ours. The conjunction of spheres. Know the theory? Do you know how monsters appeared in our world?
There's not a witcher who doesn't know that.
So you know there are other spheres. The most powerful of our mages can open passages between these worlds, and they usually do that to summon the monsters we then have to hunt. The elves we saw come from another world, and they weren't summoned. They found the way on their own. It's not exactly easy, so they usually send their spectral emanations. They come in person on special missions.
As they did for you and Yennefer. So, elves from another world and their trained wraiths. What do they want from you?
I've got an idea, but that's not your concern.
Imperial spy.
How did a witcher agree to kill humans at another human's bidding?
At the Emperor's bidding, Geralt. And he's no ordinary human. The rulers of the North come up to about where his Pauline's end.
Why?
Simple. He promised to rebuild the School of the Viper. The Witcher's order where I came to be. Witcher's schools in the south fell into ruin long ago. And Witchers themselves became internal exiles, banned from entering most cities. Besides Seret and Ox, I know of 2 other Witchers of the School of the Viper who should be alive and on the path. I don't know where they are. Haven't seen them for years. Now they can come out of hiding. They can come home.
So he did it to revive his school. And for his brethren.
Why are you still here? Why did you wait for me this time?
I knew you wouldn't give up. I knew you'd pursue me. And I don't aim to hide anymore. Fact is, only you know the truth about me. Well, and a couple of folks whose word isn't worth spit anymore. I never saw you as a foe. I want to go my way. But if I have to fight you first, so be it. This story ends here and now.
What was the point?
Care to tell me what it was all about?
Kill as many rulers as we could. Lay the blame on the sorceresses. Breed chaos. Prepare the North. Soften it before the invasion. And you know what's incredible? We could not have imagined more fertile soil. No matter what the war's outcome, the northern monarchs will accuse one another. Pursue their God-given rights. Seek vengeance and be at each other's throats for years to come. The North resembles a whorehouse on fire, as your friend Dandelion would say.
Still curious about the assassinations. Need to know about the whole picture. That was the whole picture, mate. The whole picture was to weaken the North so it could be conquered by the Empire. How did you find Sealy? How do you learn about the Lodge? How did you convince Venerable? That's a lot of exposition.
How did you manage to contact Sheila?
It wasn't a problem once I learned of the Lodge's existence. Initially, she watched my every move. But sooner or later, everyone starts treating me like a big oaf. I mean, I can change how I look. I stayed close to Sheila. Killed a few beasts for her, and whined about how unhappy I was, how unfair the world was. So much, in fact, that I actually got her gander up a few times. I made sure a few potentially trustworthy witnesses saw us together, could link us. Security in case I was captured. I also prepared to assassinate the King of Kavir. Esterad Tyson was to be the first victim of the mysterious assassins. But before I could do the dirty deed, Sheila asked me to slay Demavend. The gods had smiled upon me. I couldn't believe my luck. Here I've been trying to figure out how to frame Sheila. And now all I needed was to carry out her orders and follow through.
So I'm assuming you were
Where did
told
you get
about the
your
lodge.
information about the lodge?
From the Emperor and Vatir de Rideau, the Emperor's chief spy. And I believe they got it out of Yennefer.
She recovered her memory?
Nah. I'd never claim she informed on her friends consciously. I expect they found a way to tap into her memory in spite of her amnesia, and without her knowing it. There was a sorcerer present when I was questioned. A young, proud intelligence officer. Whatever the case, they gave me a list of the sorceresses in the lodge. Only Emir, Vatir, and I were present. Only we knew of the mission.
I know how you killed Denevid. That was in the story. How did you know Foltest would get to the solar? That's where the kids were. Wanted to take over Yorvith's unit. Was the idea? Well, that was. The squirrels are useful for getting places you need to get to. Seely came to Flotsam looking for you. Yeah, you failed to slay yet. Henselt.
Shame you didn't take a shot at Henselt yourself. History might have taken a different turn.
Maybe I would have killed him. Maybe you would have killed me. Who knows? But Henselt's death, although desirable, wasn't necessary anymore. The plan could go forward without it. Besides, somebody else got him.
You know who?
Come on. We both know.
Yennefer and the Wild Hunt. No. That's about it.
I'm done talking. Let's finish this.
Want to fight?
Any vodka left in that bottle?
A swig apiece. Here.
So, down the last dregs of vodka.
The Imperial Army is probably crossing the Yaruga as we speak. Pure pandemonium will ensue. The North's finished. Time to go south, where the good life awaits.
You're a fool, Letho. Both you and your Emperor are forgetting one thing. Misfortune brings people together. Very shortly, the North could be united like never before, thanks to you. But that's just not my concern anymore.
I'm not your foe. I never was. Let me walk away and I will. You'll never see me again. Force me to fight, and this time I'll kill you.
So, the last decision I get to make in this game. Last decision we get to make. We can fight, or we cannot fight. Letho isn't exactly an evil person. He has been killing kings off for a very specific and very selfish reason of recreating the School of the Viper in the Empire, which has views Witchers as outcasts. Even more so, they're illegal outcasts in the Empire. But he also did what we did not. He rescued Triss from the Nilfgaardians and protected her from the witch hunters, which pretty much murdered everybody that even was questionably linked to magic in any way, and burned them or killed them and stacked them in gigantic piles. Holy crap. So he protected her from that. He also spared us when we fought him last. He also, as we've learned, as regaining our memory, he helped us. We saved his life, and he helped us track down the Wild Hunt, which had taken Yennefer. He then, after we Geralt exchanged himself for Yennefer's place within the Wild Hunt's hostage-taking process. He took care of Yennefer until it was no longer possible for him to do so, when she had also lost her memory. To me, these are very valid reasons to just let him go. We have essentially no cause to hate him. He killed Foltest, which, again, not really connected with. And Foltest wasn't exactly the best of individuals. That's kind of the only reason to kind of hate him, is that he killed Foltest and it appeared that Geralt was involved, which has been subsequently disproven. So if anyone is still about and would like to weigh in on this decision, I would personally rather not fight him. He was a pain in the ass to fight last time, and there's really no reason for me to fight him. But if it is demanded for blood, I'll give it a shot. Any takers? It appears that chat is rather quiet on this subject. There's a few of you guys about, but... So, I think I'm actually going to let him go. It's a little bit anticlimactic, but we did fight a gigantic bloody dragon on top of a tower. I kind of viewed that one as the climax of this story, and this is just the resolution. And again, I really would rather not fight him. So go away.
I've learned all I wanted to know. I can feel the memories coming back. Your death won't change a thing. Go where you will.
Just like that. No threats. No words of wisdom.
You going or not?
Farewell, Geralt.
And we part ways. So we get to find out their reactions to the story. The way out. Ladybug. Ah, yes. Ladybug was important because it was the other world that you spent with Triss. Or not Triss, with Yennefer. About of the burned hellscape that is again this city.
The Witcher had traveled far and wide in search of the Kingslayers. In Flotsam, he slew Bernard Laredo, but few mourned for the Commandant. Flotsam remained to Marion, while command of the garrison and town went to a Vizima noble, a sworn enemy of Kedwin and an avid angler. To this day, folk gather round bonfires in Lobendon to hear of the Witcher's deeds. The Witcher witnessed a great Kedweni victory in Edirn. At Vergen, Henselt's army crushed Saskia the Dragon Slayer's motley force, ending the springtime of races. Soldiers of the Unicorn swarmed over the Pontar Valley. As it had before, powerful Kedwen swallowed Upper Eddern whole. Yet subsequent events would render Henselt's triumph short-lived. With Foltest slain, Temeria's barons began to vie for the throne. Many dreamt of donning the crown, yet none could assemble the allies required to snatch it. The kingdom's last hope, as it teetered at the edge of civil war, lay in little Anais. Natalis was named regent and ruled the land, yet the girl was the living symbol of the realm's salvaged unity. A tempest descended on the north, at least partly the work of manipulative mages. It seemed the turmoil in Temeria, Eddern, and Kedwen would benefit them most. Common folk turned against sorceresses and all magic freaks, witchers included. Castles that had hitherto welcomed mavens of the magic arts now shut their gates to any who sought shelter there. A witch hunt ensued. It was a time of great uncertainty, of rape accomplished by royal decree. Yet as troubled as the days seemed, we, who had in some way shaped the world's fate, finally received some respite. Zoltan resumed the quest for his beloved's hand, and I laid my head in the laps of the muses. Who could have known this tempest which had ravaged the north was but a harbinger of darker days, and the preamble to an entirely new tale of Geralt of Rivia.
And thus is the end of The Witcher 2. In the end, Nilfgaard advances up and begins yet again another war to conquer the north. Mages, essentially a Spanish Inquisition, has been raised to wipe out all of the mages. Temeria hangs on as a unified entity by a single thread. Dania is essentially the only of-age monarch that exists. The rise of the potential of freedom for non-humans was dashed. And Flotsam remains part of Temeria. Well, thus, again, concludes The Witcher 2. I thank you all for joining me in this tumultuous journey of a story. I think I'll be taking a week off, or might not be. But I will definitely be making an announcement, as I believe I would definitely wish to begin The Witcher 3 after this one. I'd like to thank all of you for joining me on this story and trip through the Witcher's universe. And again, I'll hope to be picking up the next chapter, which should start up fairly close to where we left this story off. Potentially next week, maybe the week after. And again, at Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Time. As always, I will be uploading the archives of the Venerable Brotherhood streams at the YouTube of the same name. The link for such is in the description of the Twitch stream down below. If you have joined us from YouTube, a link for the Twitch stream should be available in the description of the YouTube page somewhere. And would more than like to see you for us as we start up The Witcher 3 on again Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Time. And I think that shall be the end of The Witcher 2 and the end of this series. Oh, a little bunny rabbit ends at the end of this cutscene. Maybe not quite the end yet. Aha, I believe this is the march of the Nilfgaardians into the north. You thought you were going to get a meal. You did get a meal. This should not be the only thing you see this day. I don't remember this cutscene. Then again, it might have been blended together with The Witcher 3. You're probably dead. Alright then. Got run down by some horses on a crest I'm not super familiar with. That might have been the Nilfgaardian crest, but they weren't wearing black. But war has come. War has come to the north. And they slaughtered everybody. It is Nilfgaard. They crossed the Uruga River. Begin one more conflict. And thus the stage is set for the next Witcher. The world as we know it nears its end, yet the past remains the key to the future. Is that all? Ah, yes. That is all. Again, thank you all for joining me, and I will hopefully see you next week. Good night. Have a good next week.